Hello, YouTube. This is Lloyd Collins, your LDM. I'm running a Aztec-themed one-shot tonight called The Path of the Warrior, the Warrior's Path. I don't know which, but the players will be playing Jaguar Warriors, who are the elite of the Aztec war machine, and they captured people to be offered up to the gods. So I guess I'll start with my players. They can introduce themselves and their characters. We'll start with Cloud Snake, please.
I'm Nelson. I have a YouTube channel, Infinite Roleplay. I'll be playing Cloud Snake, the Jaguar warrior who is a low-level shaman. He's a fit-looking fellow, muscular build. He's covered in tattoos. Most notably, the tattoo on his left arm is of the jungle and a single panther. If you were to ever stop and look at his left arm, the panther on the tattoo, you would notice that it's actually stalking through the jungle and moving.
Awesome. Okay, Chepe, you want to go next?
Hey, I'm Chepe. I have the channel FaunTrodden, and my character's name is Metzley. He is a outlander who kind of existed within the jungle for a time, but when he did, he came across a wounded coatl. And in doing so, he ended up killing it and slaying it, skinning it, and using it as armor. Unfortunately, this was kind of a bad thing, and due to his martial prowess, they promoted him up into the Jaguar Warriors. But there's still this negative stigma. He's a slave to the system and to the debt he feels that he owes to the gods for slaying a sacred creature.
Perfect. Okay, let's see. Zolan, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. What's going on? My name's Locrius. I don't have a gaming channel, but you can check out my band's YouTube channel. Planetoid is the name of the band, and it's Planetoid Music. And I am playing my first 5th edition character that I ever played, a gentleman by the name of Zolan, and he's a priest of Tlaloc. And he's a little bit older than the rest of the Jaguar Warriors. But really, you almost never see his face. You can just tell by his salt and pepper hair that hangs below the mask of Tlaloc that he wears all the time. Tlaloc is the god of rain and fertility. So sometimes you'll see him on the outskirts of the company, staring in through the goggle-like eyes with the big fangs of Tlaloc.
Awesome. Okay, Joe, you want to go next?
I'm Joe, and this will be my first actual game of 5th edition. I've only ever played 3.5 before, but my character is Tarkus. He's third line Jaguar warrior. He's always been a fighter, always has been, always will be. He lives to fight and to please his gods and his family. He'll only ever die for 3 things: his god, his family, and his brothers in arms.
Perfect. And then Sharp Brain.
Hi, my name is Enrique. That's my first 5th edition as well. And I'll be playing Sharp Rain. He was an offering from a tribe that got recently conquered by the Aztecs. And since he was 16, he lived amongst them. He slept with their women. And he married, he had 4 children, and he's a follower of Quetzalcoatl, and he wears it painted in his breastplate, or weaker breastplate.
Perfect. Okay, so you guys are Jaguar Warriors. You have been summoned to speak with a Hecatl, who is the boss, basically. He's #1 Jaguar Warrior. He is not a nice man. You've been summoned with a bunch of other Jaguar Warriors to get your mission. You're standing there in this great courtyard near one of the pyramids, and a Hecatl appears, and he is just very, very large. He's maybe 6 foot tall, which is pretty big. He's got this tattoo on his face, just of a skull, so he's got the skull mask pretty much on at all times. He's just entirely ripped, piercings all over, and he's got this big, heavy macahuitl, which he carries all the time. And there's your group, you're together. You're a squad, I would say, of Jaguar Warriors, and next to you is another squad. And they, yeah, well, they're your rivals. You don't get on with them so well. Um, and they're not nice people. They're kind of more experienced than you guys, and they look down at you a lot. Um, so yes, Hecatl, he looks at you and he tells you that there's nearby, a couple of days away, a village, and you're going to go get those people and bring them back because we need their hearts for the gods. Obviously, you're supposed to capture as many as possible. Try not to kill any. That's an awful waste. Unless, of course, they're not worthy to be sacrificed. So he basically says, all right, I'm going to send the both of you at the same time. Whoever gets there first will get the glory. Whoever returns will get the glory. Yes, and that's pretty much it. And he kind of nods and he makes a sign of blessing, and then he walks away. And you're left there with the other group. And they kind of look at you. They're all dressed, as you are, in jaguar pelts. And they kind of just like look at you for a second, and then they grin, and then they start running.
Did they not say anything?
They say nothing. They just start running.
Come on, we better get a move.
So you know vaguely where you're going. It's eastwards. Once you get out of the mapped part of the jungle, you'll cross a small river, and once you cross that river, you'll have to find the Great Standing Stone. When you get there, that's where the village is.
Onward, east.
Okay, so you guys get running. You run through the town, and there are people cheering and shouting as you walk by. They're delighted to see you. You guys are like a symbol of holiness. So there's cheers and stuff as you run. You continue to run and jog, and then eventually, I guess, you start walking because you're not invincible. But you do. You're going and going and going, and you get kind of into the jungle. And you go through like at a decent speed. You've done this lots of times before. You're very comfortable in the jungle. And there's not really anything noteworthy as you travel through the map lands. You know your way around here. You've been around here a lot. You're just going along your way. I guess you would form into some sort of marching order. I would probably reckon that either the priest or the shaman would be in front.
I'm probably in the back, guarding.
Yeah, he'll take lead.
Sure. All right, so you guys keep going. So it seems like even the jungle creatures know not to mess with you guys. So you see a couple of like snakes and stuff, and they kind of shy away from you. Even you think you see like the shadow of a jaguar, and he definitely just comes nowhere near you. Since you're all wearing jaguar pelts. So you continue heading east. The jungle kind of becomes pretty thick and heavy, and there's like this really kind of pervasive atmosphere. It's feeling very, very close. So as you're walking, you like at one stage you hear like this rustling behind you, but nothing seems to happen, and you keep going. It's pretty uneventful.
Yeah. Zolan's gonna hold up his hand like that when he hears the rustling. We've all been together, right? So are any of us known to be like a good woodsman or tracker? Any of you guys happen to be like have woodsmany skills?
I've been here many times before. Let me scout ahead. So is there anything I can do to see if there's been anyone nearby recently?
Yes, if you roll a survival check. So you should have a survival skill.
Yeah.
If you're proficient in it, then you add your proficiency modifier. If not, then you just add your wisdom modifier.
It's a 13.
Okay, yeah, with 13, you can tell that this is not the way that the other group went. There doesn't been any human tracks. There's lots of tracks from creatures. You can definitely tell this is a jaguar's territory. But yeah, it's not the way the other group went, but you do know you're going the right way. You've been heading pretty much.
Amiss, guys.
Sorry?
I'd say nothing seems to be amiss, just jaguars.
Good. We must make good time, or the other tribe will get there before us.
Perfect.
And
So
he'll,
you guys do keep going, and you've reached kind of the edge of the land that you guys know, and you've entered kind of unmapped jungle. And after, I would say, maybe 3 or 4 days even, you get to this point, and not long afterwards you reach a clearing. It's got this stream running through its center, and this huge, thick tree that stretches way up into the sky. There's no other trees around it. The stream just kind of goes, meanders around it. So it's kind of in the middle of the stream. The water seems super cold and super clear. And you guys are pretty exhausted after running for all this time.
Wanting to test it out for the group, I approach the water, sit down and smell it. See if I can smell if there's recent defecation, because typically animals like to do it near the stream.
Right. It doesn't smell clean. And as you kind of get closer, you see a snake's head drop out of the tree. And it's not a normal snake. It's pretty enormous. And it's got this mane of feathers behind its head.
I flash back to my childhood and recognize the armor and the skin happening, and I draw my McQuaddle out and trying to react.
Yeah. It just looks at you, and it says, "I see you are thirsty. Please drink."
At this point, I think I draw my weapon.
The creature looks at you. "How dare you draw weapons in the face of a feathered serpent?" And actually, Chepe, you know that this doesn't look like the thing that you faced before. It's much bigger and thicker. And its voice, I mean, the Coatl that you had seen had this kind of musical timbre to his voice. This one seems really grim.
I realize my fault, and I place my McQuaddle down into the mud near the bank of the river, and I set my shield down, and I bow my head. Ask, what is it that you require?
I require that you drink. All of you will drink.
So Zolan's gonna look at the guy, and he's gonna he's got priestly training, so he's gonna think back, to all the fables that he's heard, and see if he knows anything about these creatures. Can I make like a knowledge religion or whatever?
Absolutely, yeah.
Let me try to get. Where's my dice stream? There's a thing. Here we go. Did it roll it? Was that a 2?
Yeah, it's a 2, yeah. So you think it's probably a snake. Probably a snake that's got feathers.
Yeah, so Zolan he's gonna crouch down, and he's got on his belt he's got 4 hollowed out gourds that you guys will know that all hold water, and he'll go through them, and he'll pick the 3rd one, and he'll flick his thumb off of it, and then he'll pull out his obsidian dagger, and he's gonna cut his hand, and he's gonna make a fist, and blood is gonna drop down, and he's gonna make a pattern, and he's gonna pour a concentric circle of water from the gourd, and he's gonna start chanting to himself, "Blood is water. We are water. Blood is water. We are water."
The snake doesn't like that at all. It kind of recoils a bit, and then another head drops out from the other side of the tree. And this one, where the other one kind of looked glorious and golden and white, this one is black and red and looks a lot more intimidating. And it says, "You, enough chanting. You will drink or you will die."
"You will not make demands of us. We are warriors of the Jaguar. I am Zolan, priest of Tlaloc. Who speaks to us?"
And it kind of recoils when you say Tlaloc as well. You will not drink, then you will die." And it kind of slithers out of the tree, and you see it's really long. It's easily 30 feet long. There's a head on each end of the snake, so there's no tail.
All right.
And it's going to try and smack you guys. So let's roll initiative.
All right.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Just to be sure, your initiative is your dex mod, yeah?
Mhm.
Yes, yeah.
Correct.
Oh, nice.
Okay. For Mestley. 4 for Mestley. My god.
I got an 8.
Oh, seriously.
We're doing good tonight, boys.
I'm 15.
Okay, that's a lot better.
I got a 21, I think.
Oh, wow, nice. Okay, well then, Zolan, you were first to act. So this thing has kind of dropped out of the tree. It's, like I said, about 30 feet, and there's a head on each end. One is kind of black and red and menacing. The other one is kind of glowing and golden.
Gotcha. Okay, so am I correct in assuming that this is actually one creature? Both
It's one
heads?
creature, yeah, with two
One
heads.
creature. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so Zolan's gonna continue his chant, "Blood is water, we are water," and he's gonna pour a lot more of the water from that gourd together, and then he's gonna slap his hands together in front of him, and he's gonna cast the shatter spell at the guy, as a sonic wave of energy assails his foe.
Okay, so I think I make a save, right?
I think so, yeah. So the save DC, I believe, is 14.
Okay.
And it's a Constitution save.
Wow. Okay, it rolls a 2, so you definitely failed.
All right, you know what? And screw it. I'm going to use my Tempest Priest power to maximize that damage.
Mhm.
So it would be 3d8.
24.
So we'll do 24 points of damage to him.
Yikes! Nice work. So you finish your chanting, and there's this big thunderous rapture, and you smack the creature with it, and it kind of it shakes a little bit, and the tree shakes, and loads of leaves fall down from the tree.
All right. Yeah. So Zolan sees it recoil, and he's actually a little bit shocked that the thing didn't go down because he just pulled out some big guns. So he's gonna shoot his other hand out, and a spear of lightning is gonna shoot out. He's gonna. I believe I can do this as a bonus action. Cast spiritual weapon.
Okay.
It's a bonus action, and it allows me to make a It's a 60 foot, and I can make a melee spell attack within 60 feet.
Okay. Go for it.
So I'll roll for it. It's going to be 12 plus 7 is 19.
Absolutely, it's a hit.
All right, and that's a D8 plus 4 damage. So that's 5 damage.
Okay. Very nice. Okay, yeah. So this spiritual weapon shoots out and smacks the creature as well. Tark.
How far away is it from me?
Let's say it's like 20 feet.
Okay. I'd like to motion towards it with my spear and say, I suggest you leave us now before you end your miserable life.
Yeah, it just hisses at you.
It just hits me. Okay, could I like ready an action, see if it comes anywhere near us, then I can just throw my javelin at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Sharp Rain, you're next.
Okay. Basically, I advance about 5 feet towards him, and waving my club behind me, threatening to attack in case he comes closer to me.
Okay, so you're readying as well in case he moves.
Yes.
Okay, Mestley.
All right, seeing that the the effectiveness our priest just had, I scroll in front of him with my shield out, my McQuaddle rifle next to his side, and I go as close to him as I possibly can between me and the serpent.
Okay.
And then I use a move to get over there, and I ready an action and ready a spell for mage armor.
Okay, so are you casting Mage Armor?
Yes.
Okay. So your AC goes up to something good, right?
Yeah.
Reaching 19, I guess. It goes up by 3, I think.
Yes. If I'm not mistaken.
It sets your AC to 13.
Yeah, it sets it to 13 plus dexterity, whatever that is. That would be... Actually, that would be lower. That would be 15. Oh, plus my shield, 17. Got it.
Okay. Right, then it's the snake's turn. having been smashed by this spell, it kind of rushes forward to try and bite some people with both its heads. So as it does so, Tark and Sharprain are able to make opportunity or take their actions because it runs forward.
I have sent. Oh, okay. I didn't know where it was. I was in front of.
Well, the priest is at the back,
Yes.
from my understanding, so he's standing a little bit back from everybody else. They kind of move forward to ready. So you guys, Tark and Sharprain are able to make attacks now.
Okay, I roll a 16.
16 is enough.
Okay. And a 1.
Okay. Do you do how much damage?
Do I add my strength?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 5 damage.
Okay. And Joe?
I rolled 17th armor class
Yes, that's a hit.
and 8 for damage.
Perfect. Okay, so now it rushes forward to try and bite. First, let's see. It's going to try and bite Sharprain because he just smacked it. And misses dramatically. And it's going to try and bite Joe because he just smacked it. And also misses dramatically. Really bad. So that's the exciting turn of the serpent over.
Fantastic.
All right, Cloud Snake.
Cloud Snake steps to the side, walking towards the edge of the river. He reaches out with his mind to the attacking Coatl-like creature. And inside the mind of the Coatl, he says there is only one true one, the second sun god, and you shall fall. He reaches back with his left arm. The tattoo of the jaguar running up his arm, starting to slowly glow purple with dark power. He then reaches out. The tattoo of the jaguar glowing brighter and brighter, jumps off of his arm and onto the Coatl-like creature. And he begins to strike him. And I cast Eldritch Blast.
Awesome.
First one's a 12,
A miss.
and the other one's 24.
Yeah, that's definitely a hit. 16 is the number you're looking for.
All right, beautiful. Do 8 points of damage.
All right. Yeah, that was
And
great.
then the image of the jaguar runs back and back into my arm.
Right on. Okay, so yeah, the jaguar jumps on it, kind of rakes it with its claws, and then runs back to you. That's awesome. Zolan, you're up again.
All right, yeah. So Zolan's gonna take a step to the side, and he's gonna say, "Jaguar warriors, we are together in this. Take him down." And he's gonna again pour some water in his hand, and this time he's gonna throw it in a fan at, I guess, the backs of his 3 closest enemies, and he's gonna cast the bless spell. I'm sorry, 3 closest companions, whoever's close to us. So that means, I don't know who it is. I'd love to give it to Cloud Snake, but I think he's the farthest one away, so...
So right in front of you is Mesley, and then I think just fighting the snake are Sharprain and Tark. So I think Cloud Snake moved to the side a little bit, so you won't be able to get him, probably. You'll
Okay.
get the other 3.
Yeah, because I can only target 3. So the 3 of you get an additional D4 to any attack roll or saving throw that you make.
Cool.
And then he's gonna use his bonus action, and he's gonna say, "Talalak shall smite you," and he's gonna adjust his spear, the spiritual weapon, to attack the thing again.
Okay.
Which is gonna be 13 plus 7, 20.
Absolutely, that's a hit.
And that's a D8, but 3 plus 4 is 7.
Perfect. Nice. Tark.
Okay, I'd like to move up to the middle of it, so it's about halfway up, and I'd like to try and hit it with my Makuhito, but I'd like to use my Great Weapon Master Feat and take -5 on the attack roll.
Sure.
And you say I get a +4 on this?
It's a D4. You roll a D4 and you add that to your D20 roll.
Okay. So -5. Ooh, 4. So that's 17.
Yes, that's going to hit.
Awesome. And as I strike it, I say, the Jaguar warriors cleft you in two. Leave this place or die. And that's 11 damage.
Nice.
21 damage with the feat.
Oh yeah, that's such a good feat. Big fan of that. Okay, excellent. Is that all?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, next up is Sharp Rain.
I say Quetzalcoatl will punish you for this transgression against his holy warrior, and I smack him across the face again with my club. Or I try. Yeah, that's 12.
12 is going to miss.
Okay.
Do you have another attack if you're a fighter?
Do I have another one?
If you're level 5, you should, yeah. If you're just straight fighter?
Yeah. No, I'm a ranger as well. One level ranger.
Okay, then you probably won't.
Yep.
Okay. Then it's going to be Metzli's turn. Metzli.
All right. Seeing the fact that we've gained and seeing that he's been blessed, he reaches deep within himself and brings out the fire of the Coatl that he himself vanquished. Pulling it out of his hands, he pulls forth a feather from his dress and ignites in flames and launches at him. He casts Firebolt.
Awesome.
I forgot what it does because I'm.
It's, you roll. You do an attack roll, and then it's I think probably 2d10 damage at this stage when you hit 5th level.
All right. 2d10. Dang. Alrighty. It's 9 plus. Where's my spell? Okay, that is a 4. Well, it's a ranged attack spell, so use the D4 as well, right? Mm-hmm. All right. There's my D4s. Which is a 4. Dang. And that would be a 17 to hit.
That's going to hit.
All right. 2d10, you said?
Yep.
Alrighty. That would be 15.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, it's looking pretty beat up at this stage. It seems like when it first fell out of the tree, it wasn't really able to capitalize on the surprise. You guys were pretty much in control, and you've done quite a lot of damage to it, but it's not over yet.
I ready my McQuaddle next to me after dropping off the ground, picking up the bolt.
Okay, so the snake this time rushes forward, trying to hit Tark because he did so much damage to it with that cleaving strike. You can see there's actually quite a big hole in the creature, and it's going to try and bite him. Oh dear, and that's a critical hit. And that's going to be... Um, 11, 17, 19, plus 4, 23 points of damage as it bites into you.
Fantastic.
I also need you to make a Constitution save, please.
24.
Okay, so you make it. It tries to get its fangs deep enough into you to inject its poison, but doesn't quite manage to. But you have been hit really, really hard. Roll a d20 for me.
15.
15. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, even though you weren't poisoned, it seems like the wound is pretty deep and pretty bad. So we'll have to look at that afterwards. But it looks like it might end up with quite a bad scar. Okay.
As it pulls its fangs out, I'd like to just laugh and smile at it and say, "You're past redemption now. The Jaguar Warriors will end your miserable life."
Absolutely. It continues to hiss angrily. It's like insensate with rage at this stage. Its second attack with its other head is going to try and strike at where's everybody? Okay, let's go for Sharp Rain because he's also fighting it. Okay, that's going to hit for 14 points of damage, and you need to make a Constitution save.
Okay, that's the 20 plus my Constitution modifier.
Yes.
Oh, that is 9.
Ooh, okay, so it injects the poison.
You can add a D4 to that. And
Yes, you can.
I forgot to remind you.
Okay. I'll roll the 1.
Okay, you're still going to get poisoned. So that's going to be 16 points of poison damage on top.
Ouch.
I screech horribly right now.
It's the dark head. It just bites into you. It's like the head is nearly the size of your body, clamps onto you, and you feel the poison go into you, and you just feel immediately sweaty and feverish. Okay, Cloud Snake.
Again, making my way towards the shoreline. I draw my arm back and once again release my Jaguar.
Mm-hmm.
It goes by Sharp Rain's side and claws at the side of the head that attacked him. $17
Yep, that's a hit.
and a 19.
Both hits.
I do 16 total points of damage.
Bam! Okay, so your Jaguar leaps onto it, and it just rakes it to bits, and it kind of rakes so deeply that the head on that end is just torn off, and the other side just flops around like a fish for a little bit and then falls dead. And as it does so, you can see that the body just immediately kind of burns up into ash, and like a spirit is just released from it up into the air, and you see from the water as well that some sort of darkness floats up away from it. So it's just all this ash on the ground, and in the remains of the ash is like this single huge tooth, shaped a bit like a blade. It kind of shines brightly, like gold, but kind of blue in color.
My Jaguar retrieves the blade to me, and as it jumps back into my hand, it leaves the blade in my hand, using Mage Hand.
Awesome. So, so this is like it's basically something akin to steel, which doesn't exist in this world, but it's like a metal blade that you've never seen anything like that before. Star metal. Okay.
I'm just examining it very quizzically.
Mm-hmm.
As the energy from this evil creature flies up into the air, and whatever taint was on the water flies up, Zoltan is going to cry up to it, and he's going to say, "We are Jaguar warriors. We are the lords of this jungle." And shake a fist up in the air, and then he's gonna go over to Sharp Rain and drop down beside him, and he's gonna say, "Let me see your wound."
I show him my thigh, and I make horrible faces. Ah, it is burning. It stinks.
Yeah. So can I make like a medicine check? I want to make a medicine check to try to see if normal healing will work on this.
Yes.
So I'm pretty good at medicine, though. I think that's a 14.
Yeah, so you reckon if you were to use some magic to draw out the poison, he would be fine. So a cure wound spell would do that.
Excellent. All right, and I will do so. He's gonna retrieve the fourth hollowed out gourd and pour some water in his hand, and he's gonna unceremoniously. He's not gonna say anything to Sharprain. He's just gonna cut in an X pattern around where the tooth marks were, and he's gonna slam the water down and shake his hand, and it starts fizzing, kind of like Alka-Seltzer. And it burns like a son of a bitch for a minute, but then it just gets warm and tingly, and the pain subsides a bit. And so that's going to be a cure, just a regular cure light wounds is... I
think it's 2d8, or maybe 3d8.
2d8? I should know. Hang on one second.
Cure is 1d8 per spell level you cast it at. So if you're using a first level slot, it's 1d8. A
Gotcha.
second level slot should be 2d8.
How bad does the wound look?
It's pretty deep.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna cast it at first level.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that's 1d8. Is it 1d8? Plus spellcasting modifier. So that's 6 points of damage healed.
So the wound is almost closed and started to heal.
Yeah, it's been closed anyway. You still feel sore, but the wound is no longer bleeding, so that's good.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, well fought. And then Zolan's going to go over to the ashes, and he's going to sift through them, and he's going to look at his comrades. He was like, I was hoping to get some feathers out of the deal. Start kicking through the ashes.
Yeah, it's just, like the whole body just like went up in flame like a woof. And just that blade.
You see a single tear go down Metzley's face. He brings it off. And he's kind of curious. He's wondering why that happened. And he just looks. He would normally have been appalled by this treatment of a sacred creature, but he's been too far gone at this point.
Yeah, you guys get the feeling that wasn't a true coatl anyway. That it was somehow corrupted and somehow not so nice.
Excuse me. Examining this false coatl's tooth, it must be some sort of religious or profane object. I want to use my knowledge of religion to see if I can identify what exactly this thing is. Okay, natural one.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like a tooth.
So, unleashing the jaguar once again from my arm, I stretch my arm outwards towards Zolan and have the jaguar carry the tooth to Zolan and just reach into his mind and let him know privately, it may not be a feather, but you may be able to use it.
Yeah, so Zolan looks around for a quick second and in fear, and then he realizes what's going on, and he nods over to Cloud Snake, and reaches down to retrieve the tooth from the purple panther. And I'll try a knowledge religion or religion check, see if I know anything about it.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a 7.
Yeah, you definitely think it's the tooth of the creature. It feels magical, but you can't really tell what it's for.
Alright, I'm going to spin it around in my hand. Do I think I could use it as a dagger?
Yes, actually it's bigger than that. You could probably use it as a sword.
Oh, really?
Although you guys don't know what swords are, but it looks like a sword.
All right, I'm gonna run my finger along the edge and perhaps cut it.
Yeah,
If
it's
really
incredibly sharp. It's almost as sharp as obsidian, um, and it feels much stronger. So the problem with like Mako Whittles is that when you hit something, the problem and the good thing about them, I guess, if you're a warrior, is that some of the obsidian sticks in the enemy.
Right, right.
But this seems like it's one solid piece, and it probably wouldn't shatter, which is entirely new to you.
Yeah, so does it look like it's like a short sword, or is it even larger than that?
It's bigger than that, yeah. You're holding it in 2 hands, pretty much.
Yeah, so I'm gonna look around, size up my companions. Who looks like they're the biggest and the strongest? Who was the one who was wielding the big old weapons to great effect?
It's probably Tark, I guess.
Was it
right?
Tark?
Yeah, I look over to you and look at you holding this giant tooth in your hands. I just smile and say, "That looks effective."
I think you should take it. You'll see him hold it up sort of in the way that you would normally use the obsidian club swords, and you guys will notice that Zolan, he's actually really pretty weak. He looks pretty frail. He's not a strong man at all. So he goes over and hands it to Tark and says, "I believe that the gods will it that you hold this."
I take it from him, and then I rest one hand on his shoulder. I say, "Thank you, my friend. The gods will us to be together. With you by my side, we will be strong." And then I look to everyone else in the party and say, "Jaguar warriors, we must go and fetch our sacrifices."
Right on. So mechanically, it's a great sword that does an extra 2d6 poison damage when you hit somebody with it.
Awesome.
During your journey now on, you see that I rub my leg and look meanly at this tooth. Somebody waves it around.
And Zolan's gonna make the rounds and make sure that it didn't seem like anyone got super injured, but he's gonna check to make sure that everybody's doing okay.
Tark got hit quite hard.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Quite hard. Okay. Yeah. So he'll cast Cure Wounds at you expend a second level slot for it then. That's gonna be 8 plus 4 is 12 points of damage.
Cool. So Tark is healed for 12.
As you do that to me, I'd like to say, what's it? In the future, save your energy, and then I hand him my healer's kit that I brought along with me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect.
Very well.
You've been hit quite hard. That scar is pretty gross. It goes pretty much from just this collarbone all the way across. So it's like this huge ripped scar. And basically it's pretty gross. So it's going to help you with intimidation, but really hurt you when you try and persuade somebody with stuff.
I tend to persuade people with my martial prowess than with my tongue.
So then it's probably a good thing. Okay. Yes. So you guys want to keep moving?
I think so. If everybody's up for it.
Yep. Can I examine the track, see if I can recognize basically the lands that I grew up in?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is a 22.
So you think this is relatively close. You're definitely nearing the kind of area where you would have been hanging around in the jungle. You're pretty far from the actual city now. You're a couple days away, and you've been making really good time. That's like one thing that you guys are exceptional at is traveling through the jungle at speed. So you're good few miles away at this stage. You think this looks relatively familiar to you?
We're close to home. Sacrifices are needed. He stares very blankly, very hollowly.
Yeah.
Points at Zolan. Will you point the direction?
Yes. Yeah, so...
So yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
Yeah, you guys know which way to go, basically. You're heading due east, so you're able to find that pretty easily. You cross a little stream and you keep going. You probably spend another 6-7 hours without any sort of incident, and then you reach a slow-moving, sort of shallow river. You could probably easily walk across it. Let's see. Yeah, so it's like quite wide, but really shallow. You can see that you can walk the entire way across. There's a couple of boulders in it, and you see on one of the boulders is sitting just a really weird creature. Nothing like you've ever seen before. It looks a little bit like a crocodile, but it also looks like a man. And
Wait.
Go ahead.
Wait, brothers. Wait here. I must ask the gods which way to go, how to proceed. And unless anybody stops him, he's gonna start chanting he's gonna sit everybody in a circle, and he's gonna make a circle of water around it, and then he's gonna put he's gonna cut himself, and he's gonna put a symbol of blood in front of each of them, and it's gonna take about 10 minutes, and he's going to ritually cast the water walk spell, which allows everybody to walk on water as if it was normal land.
Awesome. Okay. So you're chanting and stuff, and as you do so, you see this thing, and it's sitting on this rock, and it's pretty big. It's kind of huddled over and sitting, squatting, sort of, but it looks easily to be 3 times the size of you. It's got the face of a crocodile, and it's got these human-looking arms and legs, but on every joint. So at the wrist, at the elbow, at the shoulder, at the knee, at the ankle, at the hip, it's got a mouth. So it's got all these different mouths all over it. And it's just kind of watching you as you're casting the spell. It hasn't moved, it's just looking at you.
I approach to be as close as I can to him, since he's at the bank of the river.
So this thing kind of looks at you. And you see it's got these yellow eyes. And it looks at you and just says, "Hunger."
Zolan's gonna think back to all of his training in the proverbs and see if he knows anything about his creature, if it's religiously aligned. Yeah, that's an 8.
Yeah, you do know what this is. Where did I write down its name? That's a good question. Oh, it's gone. 1 second. It is called a Kipakli. And it is, like I said, this crocodile-faced giant with a mouth on every joint on its body. And they're all kind of snarling, and there's tongues lolling out of some of the mouths. And it just repeats the word hunger.
Is he pretty much an animal at this point? Like, is he just bestial?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a human shape with a crocodile's head. But he's got all these mouths and stuff. You know actually from your check that these things are like always hungry. They always want to eat. They're like destruction spirits almost.
Can I try to get animal handling to to see if I can drop a bit of my blood in the water so that he'll run kind of past me?
Mm-hmm.
And so to give everyone a minute to prepare if they want to ready attacks.
Sure, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a low roll, but so 16.
16. Okay, yes, that's perfect. You drop some blood in the water. It kind of goes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I cut through a part of my hand, just a bit of the nick in between the thumb and the forefinger with the ornament that I had from the quaddle that I killed when I was a kid. Dropped a bit, just a slither of flesh, and fling it at the end of it. just toward the end, shout, "Ready!"
Yeah, it kind of because its eyes seem not to be working. It got these wide open eyes, but doesn't look at any of you. It just kind of smells and tastes the air a lot. And as soon as you do that, it kind of looks in that direction and just kind of moves really lumberingly slowly towards the bit of flesh that's going downstream, really slowly.
Ready your weapons. We
Okay,
can
so-
always cross and leave the creature. If you want to fight, I will fight him. We do not have to.
I didn't know if it was sufficient enough. I was trying to get him to get. Okay, we can.
It's walked down the stream a little bit. It finds a bit of flesh, and it picks it up and just like puts it into the mouth at its wrist, and just like.
Zolan, he's going to look amongst his companions and he's going to say, "What say you? Do we fight or do we move on?"
See, the longer we delay, the longer the village waits. We must get there before the other group. This
Alright.
creature needn't die today.
Right.
Indeed.
Alright, Zolan's going to turn and run across the river.
So you
I'll
run
follow
across the
shortly.
river like a kung fu fighting monk, just like on top of the water, all of you. And it's like drinking the water that has the blood in it at the moment. And you guys get 3/4 of the way across, and it kind of hunger. And it kind of like slowly turns around, but you guys are all, across the river already, and you guys can keep running. So nice work. You do not want to fight that thing. So you keep running. It kind of comes after you very slowly for a bit, but after about 15 minutes of you guys running, because you're just very swift in the jungle and it's not, it kind of just gives up chase and walks back to the river. You carry on for another, let's say like another full day. So you, about a day later, you see this great standing stone. It's absolutely enormous. It's about 100 feet up in the air. This monolith, just this huge stone. Nothing carved on it, just a big, big stone. And in the relative distance, maybe a 30-minute walk away, you see smoke in the distance, like from a village.
Is it a lot of smoke, like the place is on fire, or just a
It
campfire?
looks like
smoke?
just campfire.
What do I smell?
You get the smell of crap. So the smell of a village, really. You get the smell of human settlement.
Are there any people nearby?
There's nobody standing at the stone, no.
Is it like a clearing, or is it in the jungle?
It's a little bit of a clearing, yeah. But there is thick jungle on all sides, pretty much.
Is there any markings on the stone?
It's totally unmarked. It's from top to bottom. It's this huge stone. You don't see any trace of a marking anywhere.
The village is not one that that's not one of our home villages, is it?
The village you're going to?
Yeah, like the village we see the smoke coming from.
No, you think that's the village you're supposed to be going to. It was supposed to be really near this stone.
Alright, so I'll start heading towards that village.
I go too.
All right.
Trying to go first in the clearing in case anything jumps out.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I start kind of prowling like a cat, almost. I bend down a little bit and start waving slowly my club in front of me
Mm-hmm.
as I walk.
So you get a little bit closer. You can see the village up ahead. It seems that they are just going about their business. It's pretty small. There's one big house. The houses are made of like reeds and mud. There's no wall or anything around the village. There's like one big house, a couple of smaller ones, and in the middle there's like a fire pit, and there's people sitting there just going about their business. Roll me perception checks, please.
15.
I got a 22.
I rolled a nat 20, and the total is 25.
Wow, okay. So no one's going to beat that. So,
I rolled a 4.
okay.
Yeah.
So with that 25, you're able to see pretty much exactly who's in the village. So you can see that there's women and children around the fire pit. They're cooking, they're making tools, all sorts of stuff like that. They're just kind of going about their business. You can see that there's a couple of men walking around, not many. And you can see like a bunch of men walking into the big house at the end of the village. By a bunch, I mean like 5 or 10.
Do I see any beasts of burden?
No, you don't. It looks like they're probably just hunters.
It's weird.
Yeah, I reach out with my mind, one by one, to my fellow Jaguar warriors, and relay what I just saw to the big tent.
Is it like in smoky vision form, like the smoke of the fire raising up in the inner parts of our mind and then opening up into a 3D canvas of what's going on?
It's
Hell yes.
however your minds would interpret the communication.
Okay, I'm gonna think that. 'Cause
That's
sounds-
awesome. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for yours.
Yeah, so Zolan is going to whisper. I guess we're getting pretty close. He's going to whisper to his companion. He's going to say, "Do we charge in or do we sneak in?"
We trap. He just looks. It's like, who else can set things on fire?
The other jaguars might try to take our bounty away.
If we corral the women and children, the men will soon follow. I think we should separate them.
Why don't we use fire to do that? They're all in one place, right?
It looks like most of the men have walked into the building at the end of the village. The women and children and stuff are still outside, just going about their business. So kids
So
are
they're-
playing.
So the men are all in a hut.
Yeah.
Set them on fire, and they won't be able to do much. And the ones that get out will be injured.
I hold the door.
How many entrances are there to this giant hut?
It looks like it's just like, it's not even a door, it's just like a hole in the mud hut.
Okay. Could I start sneaking my way over?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna cast Firebolt on the.
Yeah, I was thinking.
So I guess you want to get in position first, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. If you're getting in position, because if you set it on fire, they're not going to want to stay in there much longer, are they?
No. I was hoping someone else would set fire on the other side as well, and then who can go after the children when this starts?
I will do my best to corral them.
It's so dark.
It's getting dark. It's getting very dark.
Turn to
So,
Cloud Snake. Can you manipulate the minds of children?
I can. I reach into your mind and say to you that yes, I can. I can fell them and prevent them from dying, saving them on their last breath, to bring them back for sacrifice.
Could you guide our priests to gather the blood we need?
And I nod my head. And upon nodding my head, you start hearing the very faint sounds of battle. You know,
Yeah.
Makrido's
wrestling.
clashing with shield, and you notice that on my right arm there is a tattoo of a battlefield, and the warriors are actually fighting. The Jaguar warriors pushing back a unnamed tribe, and as the unnamed tribe moves closer and closer to my wrist down my arm, you see a shadowy Mockweedle form in my hand.
Awesome.
So, just quick. So that means me, Joe, and GutsnoKen are doing the fire with the men, and then the other guys are getting the children.
As the men start funneling out, I'll start incapacitating them.
So you guys know you're not trying to kill them. You're trying to get them back alive.
Dismember them.
I'll try to bottleneck them and smack them with a club.
Okay, so if you want to get close, you'll have to roll stealth checks.
All right.
Oh. 4.
4. Okay.
Oh goodness.
7.
All right. So you guys try and get into position, and you're kind of walking and stuff, and you're sneaking, and you get really close to the village, and then just as you're about to get to the house, one of the kids sees you, and he just kind of goes, "Hey, mom, jaguars!" And she's like, "What? Jaguars? There's jaguars in the village!" And she's like, "What?" And there's just chaos erupts, screaming, "Oh God!" And they the women start to pick up like pots and pans or whatever they have around them, and they tell the children to get into a house, and they run in after them and kind of stand outside the door, just like holding the place so you can't get at the children.
I cast Flame Strike on the hut that they just ran in, because it's closer to us, because we're passing along the way.
Okay.
And the child that saw us, how far away is he from us?
He's pretty much running now with the women towards the hut.
Okay. I toss off the another bit of the coatl from my headdress and toss the fire onto it. As it slowly erupts, I hear the screams in my mind before they even come out, and my eyes dull even more.
So you're setting fire to the hut that the women and children are in?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we're passing it.
Yeah. So
that'll make them run out.
Bit of fire just erupts from your hand. The thing goes up in flames. All the reeds and stuff just woof, and there's screaming and all sorts of stuff. The men start to kind of come out of this house, and they're like, "What the?" And their eyes widen as they see the jaguar warriors, and they see one of the houses on fire, and they start to scream, and they run back in to the house and emerge with clubs. So 2 of them have come out so far, and I guess now we'll roll initiative.
Oh, sweet mother of all that is not wonderful.
Oh.
I just got a natural 1 on initiative roll.
I got a 20.
Got a 20 as well.
What?
I got a 10.
3.
The shame.
The shame.
So, of the 2 who have 20, who wants to go first?
You can go, Sharpran. You go first.
Thank you. Yep. I charge the nearest guy in front of me. I start running, and I kind of skid on the floor and smack him in the leg, try to break his knee.
Sorry, I just need Joe. What was your initiative?
15.
15. Okay. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Our brain.
Yeah, I got 23.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you run up to this guy, you swing your club, and it just shatters his kneecap, and he falls screaming to the ground. Okay. Zolan.
Yeah, so Zolan is. I'm sure that panic has hit everybody in the village by now. And he's gonna look around and try to see where people are running. What happened to the kids who were in that hut? What did they do when the hut
was on fire? There's screaming and stuff coming from the hut. You can see that the women are kind of trying to get everybody out of the hut now, even though they just ran in there because it's on fire. So they're trying to get out into the middle of the village, but they haven't acted yet.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. So Zolan is gonna pull out some of the water from his first gourd and rub it in between his hands like this, and then he holds his palms out forward and sidesteps so that he's basically between the hut is between him and the center of the village, and he's gonna just breathe in and blow with all of his might, and a gale-forced wind. He's going to cast Gust of Wind and blow it forward. So I don't know exactly what it's going to do to the burning hut, but any creature in the path must make a strength saving throw or be pushed 15 feet in the direction of the line. and
Okay.
it's 60 feet long and 10 feet wide.
Damn. Are you trying to push them into the village or out of the village?
I'm trying to corral everybody together.
Okay, I see what you mean.
I don't want them to get away. That's the thing. I don't want to blow them away and have them be able to run into the jungle. So.
Okay, they dramatically fail their save. So you blow this huge gust of wind, and you see some of the children go up in the air and like land smack in the middle of the village, and a lot of the women are like knocked down, and they kind of are pushed through the dirt. And there's screams, and there's some crunches as people hit the ground as they've been knocked up into the air and hit the ground. But yeah, most of them are now out of the hut. The fire from the hut has, let's see, actually. Oh yeah, has from the gust of wind been blown to the next hut, and so another hut has gone up in flames.
Excellent.
So there's now fire and panic and screaming everywhere. Okay, Tark.
Okay, the two males that have got their clubs.
Yes.
Whereabouts are they?
They're easily within your reach. So they've just come out of the building. One of them has had his kneecap shattered already.
Yeah.
The other one is kind of like, you can see that he's absolutely terrified because he's heard stories about jaguar warriors, and he's literally just got this club in his hand, and he's like wearing a loincloth, and that's all he's got.
Right. Okay. I'd like to not like run towards. I'd just like to walk up towards him and just try grab his weapon from him and just tell him to drop it.
Okay. Just roll me an athletics check, please. That's for grappling and stuff.
19.
He rolled a 2. So yeah, you just effortlessly, like, he's like just shaking so much, and you just like walk casually up to him and you look at him and you give him this look of like, don't try it, and you just like grab his weapon, throw it on the ground, and he just like gets on his knees.
Okay. As I force him down to his knees, can I take one of my daggers and just like cut his heels so he's not going anywhere, just incapacitate him?
So one of his Achilles tendons.
Yeah. Essentially.
Yes.
Damn.
Ouch. Yeah, you can do that. He screams, and blood flows from him. Okay, Cloud Snake.
You said all the women and children have already been corralled to the center of the village, right?
Well, the ones that were already out of the hut have been blown from there into the middle of the village. There's some still inside the hut.
There's some still inside the hut?
Yeah.
The burning hut, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I just walk towards the hut and stop as close as I can without having the flames burn me.
Mm-hmm.
And I outstretch my left hand and release the jaguar once more and have it just run in the hut and start pulling some of the burning grass down, using mage hand in an attempt to destabilize the hut further, to make it more of a danger to remain inside of.
Okay, you do. Yeah, the jaguar runs in and starts pulling bits of flaming debris down into the hut, and the fire and smoke is really thick in there. So then it's the women and children's go. They all just run out of the hut as quickly as they can, and they see what's going on, and there's absolute panic. The kids all run kind of to the middle because where I see everybody else is, so they run to the middle. The women, now seeing their kids run away, have to go after them, so they're all standing pretty much in the middle of the village.
I reach out to one of the women. I reach out to her mind and tell her that a death in service of the gods would be more glorious than to die needlessly here.
She has no idea where that came from. She thinks she's hearing voices. She doesn't know what's going on. She thinks this is some kind of judgment. And you see her just scream and fall to the ground, hugging one of her children. Okay, so the men, the remaining men, rush out of the hut with their clubs. And you see one of them has a stone axe. One of them has actually got a macahuitl. You don't know how he got that, but he has one. He's obviously the leader. He's bigger than the rest, and he seems a bit more confident. They rush forward and they try and attack the two guys in front of the building, which is Tark and Sharp Rain. So this guy's going to run forward and try and hit. Incredibly, miraculously, he does. Okay, that's going to be 7 points to Tark. And then the other 3, one of them is going to try and attack Tark as well with a club. Okay, it's going to be 3 points from that guy. The other 2 rush forward and are going to try and just desperately swing at Sharp Rain. And one of them is going to connect with the club, and it's going to do 4 points of damage. So these guys are just like desperately trying to take you guys down. You can see in their eyes that they know they're not going to win, but they're just going to go down swinging if they can. Okay, Sharp Rain, you're up.
Okay, so when the club connects to with my temple, I wince in pain, and I get really pissed off, and try to smack him in the mouth with my club.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is 20.
Yeah, absolutely. You just need a 10 to hit these guys.
Oh, okay.
They're not
And
warriors, they're just dudes.
6 damage.
Yeah, you hit him in the face with the club. You see teeth just fly out and a spray of blood, and he is knocked unconscious back onto the ground. And you see one of the women scream, and she shouts his name.
What is his name? I want to know that. He would be my
question.
favorite.
Put
Can
me
I
on the
choose
spot
it?
here. Yes, absolutely. Please do.
Tech.
Okay. So she reaches out a hand. Tack! And you've just crushed this man's face. You assume his jaw is broken, his teeth have flown out of his mouth, and he's just in ribbons on the ground. Okay. Zolan.
Alright, so yeah, Zolan feels like his companions are doing a damn good job of beating the crap out of those guys. He's gonna look around and see if anyone is trying to escape.
It doesn't look like it. It looks like the women and children have been very much cowed. They're in the middle of the town or village, not really moving. They're kind of just huddling together. And then there's only, I think, 3 guys left who are standing, who have weapons drawn. The rest of them are like unconscious on the ground.
Okay, alright, that sounds good. So what he's gonna do is, he's gonna pull out his bow, and he's gonna shoot an arrow at one of the guys who were fighting.
Sure.
And that is a not very good 5 plus 11 to hit, I think.
That's going to hit.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And it's I just gave myself a longbow. Is that okay? Is that legit?
That's fine. Yep, that's no problem.
Okay. Oh, so that's gonna do 11 points of damage.
Okay, so your arrow just flies incredibly true, hits him right in the throat, and kills him.
Oh,
So he falls dead to the ground.
sorry.
As he falls down next to me, I whisper under my breath, "Not all are worthy."
Perfect. Okay, Tark. There's 2 guys left.
There's 2 guys left. Are they right next to me? So there's the guy with the stone axe and the guy with the makuhito.
Yes.
Okay. The guy with the makuhito, I'd like to just decimate him. I'd just like to try and disarm him if I can. Just attack his good arm, essentially. Oh, that's a crit.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, natural 20.
So, yeah, what are you hitting him with?
The demon's tooth.
Right. Okay. So you slice neatly through his arm. So he's got his holding it in 2 hands. He's kind of trying to parry or whatever, and he just is. It looks like he's in slow motion to you. You know, every move he does is very telegraphed, and you're just effortlessly able to like get under his guard, slice through. The arm just falls to the ground, and he just lets out this horrible scream and falls to the ground, clutching his wound.
Okay, and I look at the guy next to him, and I'd just like to say to him, "Drop your weapon, or you are next."
Okay, just go ahead and roll me an intimidation check.
Okay.
With advantage, so you get to roll 2d20s and pick the higher.
I rolled a intimidation 16 on that one.
Yeah, okay. So you see him just like tears in his eyes, looking at everything he knows being destroyed. His friends are dead or in the process of dying. Everyone he's trying to protect is not being protected, and he just drops his weapon, falls to his knees, and just starts crying.
Okay. I'd like to. Can I kind of bind them with anything?
Yeah, sure. You've brought rope and stuff for that purpose.
Awesome. I'd like to bind these two together.
Yeah. So you know that like the guy who's got his arm chopped off is probably going to bleed to death unless you do something about it, and the guy who's had his Achilles tendon cut as well is in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, I walk up to one of them and place my hand on them. And from the area around, you can see dark swirling energies, and they start to form an image in a facsimile of Quetzalcoatl before flying into the body of this fallen sacrifice, yet to be sacrificed, and I spare the dying.
Oh, huge call. All right. So the guy who got the arrow in the throat, you basically walk over, you pull the arrow out, there's a spray of arterial blood, and you just go, put a hand on him, and the wound closes up, and he just comes back to life a little bit. He's still in bits, but he's breathing.
He doesn't need to be in good shape, just needs to be alive.
Right. So you've got now the men are all incapacitated. You've got these women and the children. There's 5 women and let's say 10 children around, and they're just kind of huddling around the fire all together. A lot of crying, and they kind of look to you, figuring out if they're going to live or not.
I'll walk towards the nearest woman from me that's crying. I'll kneel beside her, and I'll just caress her cheek and reach out into her mind and say, "There's no need to cry. Your deaths will be in glory of the gods."
Yeah, I mean, she looks and she thinks you're some sort of horrifying sorcerer. She doesn't understand what's going on.
And then I give her a very soft smile.
Yeah, she's terrified. They're all terrified. They're just huddling together and they're just helpless. They can't do anything. One of the women, though, has picked up a stone and she goes to swing for you with the stone to try and hit you in the head with it. Yeah, so she rolls a 1. And so she goes to swing for you, and she like overbalances and falls under the ground.
I turn sharply and look her straight in the eyes, and I use my power of thaumaturgy to make my eyes glow bright red, and reach into her mind and say, "Sit."
Yeah, she does. She just sits quietly, looking at the ground. Glassy eyes.
I'll just turn to my friends and nod.
Yeah,
Okay.
Zolan will nod also and walk over to the to where the children are. And he's gonna kneel down and he's gonna pull back his mask, which you guys will know it's very rare for him to do that. And you'll see underneath his skin is more covered with black and blue war paint than actual skin, even underneath his mask. And his nose looks like it was broken horribly at one time and is pushed over to the side of his face. But other than that, he looks at the children with surprisingly kind eyes, and he says, "Do not be afraid. Everything will be fine. This is as it has to be."
So seeing this monster walk over to them and take off its face and have another face beneath, they all just start screaming and crying and running to their mothers and hiding their faces, just horrified by literal monsters that have come into their lives, set fire to everything they love, and kill all their fathers.
He's gonna look down and shake his head and look over at his companions and says, "Every time I try, it never works."
I'm going to walk around the other side of the children, and I'm going to take out an animal trap that I made that I used to snare the coatl when I was a kid. And that a version of it that I fashioned out of its bone, and it has sharp rings on it, and I set it out to the side on the other side of the children in case any of them decide to run, and I stand there with my maquaddle in case they were trying to run out that direction.
Mm-hmm. So, the guy who's had his teeth knocked out, he sits up, he spits out this big mouthful of blood. What are you going to do with us?
I pick up a couple of his teeth and put in my pouch.
I say, we're not going to do anything with you. The gods will decide what happens to you. But for now, you must walk.
Okay, so I'm guessing you guys want to tie them all up and stuff and get going?
Absolutely. Quick question: the other jaguars, were they being sent to this same village or a different village?
They were being sent here, yeah, same village.
Yeah. So now that the now that everything has the fighting has calmed down, he's gonna listen and he's gonna look at his friends and say, "The others will be coming soon." So he doesn't have any survival, and I know that the jungle is dense, but he's gonna do his best to try to listen and see if he can hear anybody coming. So perception, that is an 11.
Okay, so you don't really hear anything beyond the crying and screaming of the various people in the village at the moment?
Fair enough.
My brothers, I think we should gag them. There's a lot of reed around us. We can make our voyage much quieter and to not attract as many bad spirits as in might with this screaming.
Agreed.
I reach out to my fellow jaguars' minds one by one and say to them, "We bring these for the glories of the gods, but we should leave nothing else standing. And I'll send my jaguar out and mage hand pieces of burning huts into huts and items that aren't burning, slowly but surely setting the entire village on fire."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Zolan will help by directing winds to blow everything into a big pile.
Alright, so you tie up the various prisoners, I'm guessing to each other and then to a rope that you're holding. And you kind of walk away from the place, leaving it just in ruins. There's a huge fire, and you just walk away like cool guys from an explosion.
And we all make a note to never look back.
Yes, I think so. So you guys are able to... You don't make good time on the way back, obviously, because you've got these severely injured men, you've got children, you've got women who are not used to running in the jungle, but you are moving through the jungle.
Yeah, just to ensure that escape is even less possible while tying them together before the rope, I reach out to the minds of my allies to ensure that no two men are lashed together, that there is either a child or a woman in the front or back of each of their so-called warriors.
Mm-hmm. God, it's so grim, isn't it? Jesus.
Super grim.
so grim. Okay, so yeah, you have them tied up in a very efficient way. You start to work your way back. You do have to cross the river again, where that creature was. So you get within sight of the river, and you see it there still, sitting there, just occasionally muttering the word hunger.
We could hunt an animal and give it to him and cross.
I say we have no time.
I grab one of the children. Can I use an animal handling skill to do the same thing I did with my flesh?
Yep.
But with the child instead.
But with the child, yes. Okay, that is a 28.
Wow, absolutely, yeah. So you get this child, toddler,
Slice his throat really quickly.
No,
throw it in the river.
can I stop you?
Hmm?
Can I stop you?
If you want.
Yeah, I try to stop you, and I'll just grab the child's finger, and reach into your mind and say, let me have this finger. I'll take care of the rest.
Also,
Okay. I
we
see
need
what
to
you're saying.
choose
I cut off one of the fingers and then throw it in the river like I would, knowing the direction the animal would go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I support that by using my mage hand and letting loose my jaguar to run circles around the creature to buy us time to bring back all of our captives.
Okay, so this time you have to wade across. It takes a little bit longer. The creature kind of shambles down the river, picks up the finger, and devours it. And it licks up all the blood in the water. And you guys are about halfway across.
So I'm going to
Jarl,
Zolan is gonna rub his hands together again, and spit on them, and then blow, and he's gonna try to step far enough back that he's not gonna knock anyone over, but he's gonna try to direct the winds so that it blows away from the creature, so he can't smell any of us.
Ooh. Good idea.
And so that's one round to do it, and then everybody's tied together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's going. You're gonna hear him as he's holding his hands out, blowing the wind. He's gonna say, "Talalok, disguise our position." And from his outstretched hands, fog is going to emit around, and it clings to the water, and surrounds us as we cross in a shroud.
Awesome. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so you use your control of storms and water and air, and you basically pass invisible. You can hear the creature like sniffing around and kind of shouting the word hunger over and over again, but you're able to get across most of the way. Trailing at the back of the group, one of the children is grabbed, just as the rest of you are all across. One of the children is grabbed by this creature and just devoured. And the slave tied to that, the sacrifice tied to that child, is being dragged into the mouth as well.
I run, draw my knife, and try to cut the rope, so nobody else is dragged.
Yes. Okay. You do. You're able to run back, slash through the rope really quickly, and you grab the offering and pull him away. So the creature is just eating this child, and you guys are able to get away from it again. Okay.
Just keep staring at the children's faces as we walk. Not saying a word, just staring at the children's faces.
So dark.
Just an eerie silence fills the trip back. No one wants to say a word.
Nobody's talking. Yeah.
That's because they're gagged. I watch them try to scream, and they can't because of the leaves that are shoved down their throat.
After a little while, once we're clear of the thing, Zolan is actually going to start telling proverbs, more to the children. But obviously, it's sort of a captive audience, so we might as well do it while he's doing it.
Was that an intentional pun?
And he'll use cryptic priestly terms, but he'll explain that water makes the plants grow, and plants feed the animals, animals feed men, and the men must feed the gods, so that the gods may make it rain, so that the water can feed the plants, so the plants can feed the animals, so the animals may feed the men, so the men may feed the gods. This is the natural order of things, and this is how it must be. You do not need to be afraid. There will be very little pain. This is the way that it has to be.
Awesome.
As I say that, I run my hand across my Ouroboros in my breast and look at him, wondering.
As he's speaking and ushering out those proverbs, and we're walking, for any of the captives that care to look my way, they would notice that the tattoo of a sun disk on my chest as he's speaking begins to rotate in the same cycle in which he was saying.
That's awesome, guys.
Awesome.
Seriously cool characters, guys. I'm very impressed. It's a lot of work for a one-shot. I'm really, really pleased. So you guys carry on. And maybe another 3 days into the trip. It passes pretty much uneventful. But a little while into the trip, I'll have everybody make a perception check, please.
19.
I got a 15.
25.
Oh, nice. Okay, so with the 25, you hear like a little snap of a twig, and you hear like a rustling in the bushes, and you hear kind of a low, kind of wet growl from a nearby bush.
Do I hear this as well, or was it just Cloud?
You would have heard it as well. Yeah, you got a 19, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have heard it too.
I would have heard it. I have a +4, so that's an 11.
No, it would be a 15. You need to hear this.
Okay, never mind.
I was still distracted, rubbing my hand across my Ouroboros, so...
Yes.
Yeah, Zolan got a 15, so he's gonna hold his hand up in the signal that shit's about to go down, and he'll point over just in case anybody hadn't heard.
Mm-hmm.
I let loose one of my jaguars once again, pointing in the direction of the sound that I heard, and use Mage Hand in the form of the jaguar to push the shrubs from side to side, see if I can get a look at what was making that sound.
Yeah. When you do that, the jaguar kind of crawls over. What would you say? It doesn't crawl. It prowls over.
Prowl.
Yeah. And it gets over there and it parts the bush, and in front of it, actual jaguar, but the biggest one you've ever seen. It is enormous. It is bigger than a horse. It's huge, and it just lets out this really low, wet growl, and kind of swipes at the invisible jaguar, or the not real jaguar.
I dive at it, trying to tackle it.
Okay.
Wait. I want to see if I could reach out to it with my mind and just tell it to submit.
Can it?
You can try.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can communicate
Telepathy,
regardless
right?
of language.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll listen, but that's
yeah.
what I attempt.
Okay. We could. Well, you're trying to get to it before I can catch it because I'm running
Yeah.
up to it full speed.
Yeah. I just want to see if I can get it to submit with by communicating directly from mind to mind.
So you basically, instead of words, because it doesn't speak, you send it images of it, like lying down, submitting, and it sends back an image of it tearing your throat out.
Okay. Do I need to roll grappling or do I need to roll animal handling?
I think grappling.
Okay. That would be athletics, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 17.
Okay, yeah, you run up to this thing, you tackle it around the neck, and you knock it, bowl it over, and it just trying to slash at you.
I want to use animal handling to see if knowing where it is and how it contorts and how they normally react, I would like to get into a more submissive position. As in, I can bow over on top of it in order to get it prone, so that way any attack on it has advantage.
Okay.
That was a really low throw, but that is a 12.
Okay, yeah, you know enough to know that like if you clamp on the back of its neck, that's like a sign from when they're little.
Hmm.
Their mothers would do that when they're messing. So you know that if you clamp on the back of its neck, it'll instinctively try and submit.
I bite it in the back of its neck gently, not like ripping its flesh, but I go into the fur with a mouthful of fur and I calm it, pull it over into a triangle hold.
Yeah, it kind of falls. It's still trying to get up, but it's trying less hard.
So it's prone now. Is
It's
that
prone. Yeah. So let's do some initiative. It's still trying to kill you.
God. 5.
I got a 20.
I got a 20.
Yeah, I got a 21.
Nice. 21 Cloud Snake. 20 Zolan. 11 for Shark Brain. 16. Okay, so first to act is Cloud Snake.
I outstretch my hand once again, and this time when the jaguar leaps from my hand, it splits into two. They both run parallel to each other, and then go towards the larger jaguar and jump on its belly to gore its belly before crossing each other and running back into my outstretched hand.
Awesome.
You have advantage because it's prone,
Yeah.
by the way.
Alright, well, I got a 22 on the first roll.
Nice.
Okay, now for the second attack. Okay, that one needs advantage. 20 on the second one.
Yeah, both hits.
Okay, let me just mismix my d10s. Oh, that's terrible. Total of, what is that? 5 and 4? 7. 7
4
points
is
of
9.
damage.
5 and 4 is 9. You roll
What was
5 and
that?
4? Did you roll 5 and 4?
Yeah, 5 and 4. Oh,
It's 9.
math. Sorry, thanks.
No problem. Okay, Zolan.
Yeah. Okay. So Zolan is gonna pour some water into his hands. And he's gonna say, "Brothers, we shall defeat them." And he's gonna splash water on 3 of his closest companions, making sure he gets Cloud Snake this time because he didn't get him last time. And he's gonna cast Bless on I guess probably Metzley is not gonna get it because he's grappled, right? I think that makes sense. So.
Yeah, probably not.
And then he's with his bonus action, he's gonna reach his left hand out and shoot forth the spiritual weapon spear of lightning. He's gonna try to attack him.
Sure.
And so that is that's his. What is it? It's actually a 13 to hit.
That's gonna miss, just about.
Oh wait, do I have advantage or not with a
You
spell
do, yeah.
weapon?
Yeah. If you roll an attack roll, then you have advantage.
Okay, so that's a 15, but not 21.
Yeah, that'll do it.
22. Okay, and that's gonna be 6 points of damage.
All right. Okay. The Jaguar goes next. So it's going to try and escape your grapple. Okay, rolling a 16. So I think you need to roll another athletics check to keep it there.
All right. Plus athletics is 15.
Okay, so it.
No, wait. Athletics? That's
Yeah.
an 18. Sorry, my
Okay,
bad.
then it doesn't.
I accidentally read acrobatics.
No problem. So you're holding it down, and it's trying to escape, and it's trying to get out, but it just can't do it. Can it fight you when it's grappled? Grappled.
You can make a basic. It has a basic action, I thought.
Rules.
It's in the very back.
Grapple. Okay. Speed becomes 0. Condition ends to grapple suppressed. Okay, so it's just speed. It can't move, but it can still make an action. Okay, so it's going to try and bite you.
I don't have my shield on me at this point, I'm guessing. Probably
Yeah,
not
probably
when I'm
not.
running at it. All right.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be a hit.
Oh boy.
This could be bad. Oh, Jesus, it is bad. 22 points.
Dang.
So it bites into your flesh and you scream. And then you hear another roar from somewhere not so far away, and a jaguar jumps out of the underbrush and lands on one of the children and just clamps its jaws down, killing it. Okay. This one is not the same size. This is significantly smaller. So then, Mestley.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to take my McWaddle since it's down by my feet since I dropped it when I dove for the thing, and I'm gonna try to sling into it. I have no idea what kind of roll that is. If it's a normal attack roll, if it's an athletics check, or
I
what.
think make an attack and just do it normally. You would have disadvantage, but it's prone, so you have advantage, so I'll just cancel it out and say it's a normal attack.
Alrighty. Strength. Plus 6. Okay, so that's 18.
Yep, that's a hit.
Alrighty, so that's 2d6 plus. So that's 10 damage.
Nice.
And I make another attack. Do it again. That would be a 24.
Yep, that's another hit.
And that would be, let's see, 14 damage.
Nice. Okay.
So
Yeah, you're. Go ahead.
I bowed over twice with the McWaddle, basically shoving my McWaddle into its belly where it was already ripped open, and then I rolled it over again in the middle of a grapple on top of the McWaddle in order to dig it further into the flesh.
Perfect. Yeah, so it's mixing now roars with kind of whimpers of pain. Sharp Rain.
I run towards it with my club again and try to smack it with a hardwood in his head. And that's 17.
Yep, hit.
Okay. 12 damage. So and I say, my children will make toys with your teeth. Smack across his face.
Nice. Okay, Tark.
The child that's being mauled at the minute, is he still being set upon?
Yes, the jaguars. There's the one that the rest of them are fighting seems to be unusually large jaguar. The other one seems to be a normal one.
Okay. Can I look around and see if there are any more jaguars like hiding in the brush?
You can, yeah. Just perception check.
13.
Yes, you see no signs of anything else.
Okay. Then the one on the child, I'd like to go over to it and then just try and just get it off the child. Just
Yeah.
like I'll attack it.
You've got advantage because it's totally distracted.
Okay. Oh, 13 to hit.
13 is enough.
With advantage?
I rolled a natural 1 and a 9.
Wow.
A 6, sorry. That's 11, 15 damage and 9 poison damage. Is it still there?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd like to hit it again.
Yep.
That one's 20 that time.
I need a hit? Yeah, it's a hit.
6 damage
Okay.
and 7 more poison damage.
Okay. So this thing is in bits. You've just run over and you just slash it to bits, and you see that it's like kind of barely able to stand at this stage. All right, so we're back to the top with Cloud Snake.
All right. In almost a dancing motion, I swirl my arms together circularly, and you start to hear the sounds of battle once again. And at first I raise my right arm up, and several warriors jump into the air and start spinning around each other, slowly forming a facsimile of Quetzalcoatl as it flies towards the larger jaguar. And I cast Hex on the larger jaguar as a bonus action. And then while bringing that arm down and continuing the circular motion, I then reach forward with my left arm, and once again, my magical jaguar jumps up and splits into two, and rushes at the larger jaguar while I catch Eldritch Blast. Oh, let me get a D4 too. So the first attack is 14, 20.
Yep.
And do I still have advantage or no?
Yes, you do. Yeah, it's still on the ground.
Okay, thank God. And the second attack is 22.
Perfect. 2 hits.
You mean thank the sun god?
Yes. Alright, so I strike it twice. As each of the jaguars strikes, you see the Coatl spirit come down and strike itself in tandem with their strikes. Oh, shit, I lost the dice. Alright. So that's 10, 11, 14 plus 6, 20. 20 damage total.
Wow, okay. So this barrage just seems to take all the life from the Jaguar, so it's just the combination of the Jaguar spirits with the Quetzalcoatl spirit just end it, and you see all the rage in the Jaguar disappear and it falls flat.
Alright, so as it falls lifeless, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, as it falls down lifeless, the two separate Jaguar spirits jump up to form one, then reach the Coatl spirit, form with it, it grows larger for a minute, and flies towards the smaller Jaguar, attacking the children and our slaves.
Perfect.
Slowly shrinking in size back to its original form as the hexes move towards that one.
Awesome. Some great descriptions, man. Very cool.
Yeah, super cool.
Thanks.
Okay, Zolan, you're next.
All right, so the big one's down, and the other one is still
nearly
active,
being
right?
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, so Zolan's going to pour some water from the second gourd in his hand, and he's going to throw it seemingly straight up in an arc, and you guys will see it coalesce above the creature as a bright lightning strike shoots down, and I'm going to cast Sacred Flame on him.
Okay. So he makes a save, right?
He makes a save, yeah.
And he fails.
DC's 14. Okay, great. So let's see. That is it's going to be 2d8. So that's 6 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to take him out too. Nice.
Okay, excellent. And so yeah, the poison from the weird alien weapon seemed to make this thing drowsy, and as the lightning strikes down on him, it's a shock to his system, and he you can see the hair stand up on him, and parts of it turn white, parts of its spots turn white as it falls down on the ground, just writhing.
Yeah. Awesome. Excellent work, guys. So you've killed the Jaguars. That one Jaguar is bigger than any Jaguar I've seen before. That it seems to be like unusually strong and powerful. The child that was attacked is dead, though.
Can I make a can I make a survival check on the Jaguar just to look at the body, like see if anything's affected it? Let's see, that is 9 and survival 18.
Yeah, so looking at it, you can see that it's unusually large, definitely. But if you look at the spots, you see that they're actually, if you look really close, you couldn't see it in the swirling melee, but the spots seem to have the shape of sort of circular serpents. So it looks like it was some sort of magical creature.
Well, I turn over at the I turn over at the two magic people. The tattoo. Or I turn at Cloud Snake and I turn at Zolan. Shout out to them. Can you look at this? There's magic on its spots.
Yeah, Zolan will look over, and as he sees the serpent pattern on the spots, he'll say, "Cloud Snake, you should look." And he's gonna marvel at the splendor of this creature and try to think if there's any religious significance to its markings.
I
And
want
that's
to
a
take out one or two of its teeth and then toss it to Sharpbrain
Mm-hmm.
for your children.
Thank you.
Alright, I want to go and look over this magical creature. And first, are we still under the effects of the bless, or is that finished?
I think it
it's
still would be.
yeah, I think it should still be going. I think it's a minute.
Alright. I want to use a knowledge of religion to see if this creature has any religious significance. Yeah, no, I don't know nothing. I got a 2 and a 1, so...
Wow. Okay.
Alright, so apparently I don't believe it has any religious significance.
Zolan, you
And-
would know just by being a priest that it does. The serpent that you see is, let me see if I can say this, Mictlantecuhtli, which is the god of the underworld. So it's seemingly an evil creature.
He's gonna trace the shape of the serpent with his hand, and then he pulls it back. He's gonna say, "Mictlantecuhtli." Only he's gonna say it right.
and as soon as he says that, while he was looking that over and reaching for the symbol, my ignorance had me kneel down and pull one of my obsidian daggers and start cutting it open to try to reach for its heart to gain its power.
Mm-hmm. Right on.
And as soon as he mentions the god of death, I just stand back and walk away and leave it be.
Okay. Perfect.
I try to make the slaves get in order, try to calm them down, smacking my club in the floor and saying, "Sit down."
Mm-hmm. They do, yeah. They're totally cowed at this stage. All right. So you have killed the gross jaguar monster. Okay. So you're able to continue on, unless you want to take a rest or something.
I could do with the rest, guys. It's been a long day.
Really long day.
Might just have a quick bio break as well. I need to go to the bathroom. Yep.
Yeah,
Just
that
take
sounds
like
good.
a
Cool.
5 minute
I'll
break.
step away as well.
Sure.
He gets ready for his rest and then falls to the ground because he just wrestled a panther.
I'll be right back.
Me too.
On this episode of Jarl DM, the blood and pain and sacrifice of women and children scattered about the temple as a black-laden priest lay bold and the sun glistens off of the dark blood, black, purple, and mixture of viscera flowing down the ziggurats. The sun gods are pleased.
Yeah, it's been grim, man. It's been very, very grim.
There's a reason why the conquistadors had help.
Right. Yeah. Aztecs were not good people.
Nobody liked them.
No.
I've been watching like as much and reading as much about the Aztecs in preparation for this game since yesterday.
Fascinating people. Like, it's such a fascinating culture.
Yeah. Like, I forget how to pronounce a lot of the names, but
Right.
Yeah.
but it's right there in front of me. I can't say it. Zolan,
Yeah.
the guy he's following. I was reading about him too. And
Yeah,
I'm
he's
just-
crazy, man.
Yeah. I'm just loving how like all the little descriptions and tossing off the water and using sacred flame
Yeah,
as a
man.
lightning bolt. It's beautiful, man.
Your descriptions are all
Awesome.
excellent, guys. A lot going on. I'm really pleased.
Yeah,
You guys are
likewise.
really
I mean,
good.
I'm having a blast playing. It's really fun.
Because all too often in one-shots, people just kind of make one-shot characters, if you know what I mean. They just make characters that don't really have a personality, but like, you guys have put so much work into like the descriptions that it just makes everybody feel like a real person. You know, people who are like deeply religious and totally believe what they're doing, which is like what I wanted to get across. That like, you guys don't think you're bad guys, you know, but you really are bad guys. You know.
Yeah.
I'm
Cool. I mean,
void of humanity and emptiness.
Yeah.
We're making the sun rise every morning. Where are the good
Exactly,
guys?
yeah.
exactly. You know?
Exactly.
You're doing a service to the entire world.
Precisely. Nobody says thank you.
I know, right?
Selfish
Hey,
tribe.
look, in my backstory, I sacrificed myself initially, so hey, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that video you did, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be so awesome.
I really couldn't help it after, you know, doing all that research into the Aztec culture. Like, I knew about Aztecs beforehand, but I was like, you know what? I don't know, Aztec D&D? That sounds too awesome. I gotta go deep.
There's
I
actually
was
a
the
few
same
games
way.
that do that. Okay, go ahead.
Oh no, I felt the same way, and then I was looking, I was like, I saw the mask, the Talaluk's face, and I was like, that is too awesome. And then I started looking at the card, I'm like, oh no, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Like the children were specifically sacrificed to Talaluk, and like it was important that they cried when they were killed because they thought that was like sympathetic to the rain. I'm like, oh my god, this is the evilest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah. No, one of the stories that I was reading was that Talaluk was the third sun god in the third age. Because you know how they had 4 ages before the one we're in?
That's right.
And he was forced to be the sun god, so he rose as the sun across the sky every day. But also being the rain god, he was upset, so he didn't allow it to rain until the other gods pressured him, and then he made it rain fire and destroyed all life in the third age.
Oh,
Damn, I did not dig that deep, and thank you for elucidating me, because that's amazing.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And I forget the other name, but like I was telling Lloyd before, he mentioned Quetzalcoatl. I'm like, everybody knows about Quetzalcoatl. And then I started reading deeper. I was like, oh hell no, he's one of the first gods, the first 4. You know, the god of the north wind, god of life. And I was like, well, if I have a character that kills myself, that's the only god that would bring me back, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And one of the stories that I read, he actually went to the underworld to bring mankind back for the 4th age. So
Badass.
they've got some crazy stories.
Yeah.
It's super cool, it is. And horrific, but super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so deep. It's more than just, hey, I want to swing my, what's that thing called? My
Right.
bat?
Yeah.
No.
There's so much to it, like so much mysticism and so much like serious zealotry, you know? It's cool. Alright, we'll get back to it. So do you guys want to take a rest? You want to take a rest, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
I think so.
collapsed because I wrestled a panther.
Yeah. A giant one.
A dire panther.
Yeah, so Zolan was handed a healer's kit. I don't know the mechanics of it, but he wants to go around and try to patch everybody up as best he can.
Sure. So during your rest, you can go around and make sure everybody's okay and close wounds and stuff like that. That's no problem. So do you want to take a long rest or a short rest? Like you have the sacrifices now, so you're not really in a rush anymore.
I'm good either way. But while everybody's sort of settling down, I want to go to Metzley, sort of, tap him on the back and try to loosen him up after wrestling that giant creature of the Lord of Death.
I don't talk the entire time. I'm just sitting up staring at the faces of the children while
I don't
you're
talk either.
massaging me. Just two muscly men in the rainforest.
I just connect directly into your mind, and
You're
You did
connected
well.
to my mind.
yes.
The dark place. You don't want to be there.
You get there and all there is an image of him just staring into children's faces.
Just children's faces. All you see is just images of children's faces of all the sacrifices I've killed one by one. You see my McQuaddle going down, splitting their faces apart. Toddlers, little girls, others, families, people I knew, my own village. And all you see is my eyes gleaming over, and then a sea of faces of people I've killed.
While these images of yours are flowing through my mind, I just close my eyes to focus in on them and absorb all your glorious works and just smile.
Lunatics.
Righteous lunatics.
From my
Short
Jaguar
rest.
pelt. Yeah,
Mhm.
you can go.
Yeah.
Okay, I go then. From my Jaguar pelt, I rip out a small stone charm. It's a prowling jaguar, and I give to Metzley. I say, "Good job grappling that monster.
He takes it.
My children made."
No. Children. He stares at it. He puts it away. Close next to his other souvenir from when he killed the Quaddle when he was younger. A second omen to remind him of the humanity he's lost.
Mm.
But he must fulfill his duty to the gods.
Yeah, that's a little bit dark, isn't it?
Just a little.
So
Nah.
Zolan is gonna take the take the corpse of the child that was killed by the panther off, and he's gonna do his religious rites on it. He's gonna release the spirit, and with his obsidian dagger cut the kid's heart out, and offer it to Tlaloc.
Hmm.
Forgive us for not letting it cry. So short rest, right? Or are we doing long rest?
I think we should do a short rest.
Short rest, fine by me. I just need health.
So on a short rest, those of you who are new to 5e, you can spend hit dice equal to your level. So you can spend up to 5 hit dice to heal yourself. So if you're level 5 fighter, you have 5d10 you can spend to heal. You don't have to roll them all at once, you can roll them one at a time to see how much you need.
Okay. It's a 9. 14. I just spent 3. 15. So I healed 15.
Cool.
Before I rest, once Zolan does his rites on the body of the child, I get rid of the body of the child by summoning the spell's called Hunger of Hadar.
Hmm.
So what I do is that I kneel, I put my hands on my thighs and begin to pray to myself silently, and as the sun disk spins, another facsimile of a Quaddle, this time much larger and less graceful, flies forward towards the unattended body of the child and starts spinning and spinning and spinning until there's nothing but an orb of shadow, and you hear the cries of men women, children, creatures just crying out in pain. And they reach out and they grab the body of the child and pull it into the void. And the void slowly fades away, continually hearing the screams echoing in the ears of all who are nearby.
Damn. All right. Hey, everybody has inspiration as well, by the way. I always forget to do that in 5e, but everybody's got it. Like a ton.
Sweet.
Okay, so you guys take your rest. You kind of sit down for a little bit. You kind of get your breath back. You patch up some wounds that are a little bit sore. And then the slaves obviously collapse, exhausted. They're not used to literally running through the jungle all day, every day, like you guys are. They just collapse, and they're just like just completely out of breath. And just much sooner than they would like, you guys get back up again and start running. And they're just exhausted. You can hear kids crying. You can hear even men just wailing at the fact that they have to keep running, and they're in so much pain. You can see the guy who's had his jaw broken and his teeth knocked out. There's just like a trail of blood going all the way down his chest from how badly he's been hurt. You can see the guy who's had his Achilles tendon cut is like leaning on one of the women the whole time. So yeah, you guys continue running. It's pretty uneventful until you get close enough to the mapped out area of the forest, the part that you know. And as you get there, close enough, you see the other group of Jaguar warriors. And the bigger of them, Mamustli is his name, and he steps forward. He's got this big shit-eating grin on his face, and he just says, "That's far enough. I see you've captured yourself some offerings. A fine selection. Well, you're new to this. You've done an honorable job. You've done an admirable job, but I'll be taking it from here." And he grins and twirls his macahuitl in his hands.
As he's foolishly grinning and showboating, I begin to step forward slowly and slowly manifesting my different powers of thaumaturgy. First, making my eyes glow red and powerful, then making the ground rumble as I place each foot on the floor, and finally imitating the sounds of jaguars surrounding this one man, making it sound as the jaguars slowly close in on him. And I just stare him in the eyes and just shake my head no.
He kind of looks at you, and he kind of looks around at these noises, and he's trying to keep composure, trying not to look like he's scared, and he just continues spinning his club, and the other guys behind him, they kind of step forward, and one of them pipes up and says, "All right, that's enough. We're gonna take it from here. We're senior. You're new to this, so maybe you don't know how it works, but we will be getting the glory for this."
The one that currently speaks.
As he does that, I walk up next to Cloud Snake. I stand at breath with him, and I say to the guy, "You're mistaken. We shall take from here. These are our offerings. You have failed in your duty, and it has fallen upon us to fulfill the God's will. You are a shame, and you are a disgrace."
Yeah, so the main guy snarls at that, and he dashes forward to attack. So let's do some initiative.
Oh. 22.
Ooh, nice.
I rolled a 20.
21!
I got an 11.
$19.
Okay, 21. all of you? Yes, I do. Okay. All right, so Tark, you're the first to act. So this guy, basically, you've told them to get lost, effectively, and they snarl and kind of move towards you a little bit.
Am I right in thinking that this is a surprise round for them?
No, they don't get a surprise round. They were like pretty much just before they start to move. You're like well aware of what's about to happen, and you get to act first.
All right, okay. Do I think that he's coming to actually cause bodily harm to us?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Right. I'd like to shove him to the ground and just scoff at him and say what's it. Why do you try and persist? It is our offerings. You have failed. You have always failed. The gods judge you unworthy. I suggest you walk away with your lives or suffer the consequences. And then I'd just like to force him to the ground and then just stab him in the face with my dagger.
Perfect. All right.
Essentially.
So, do you want to push him or stab him first?
I want to push him to the ground.
Okay, just roll a strength check.
23.
Yeah, okay. You knock him flat on his ass.
And then make an attack roll.
Yep, with advantage because he's on the ground.
24.
Yeah, that's definitely hit.
Okay. 8 points of damage.
Nice. Are you trying to, like, hinder him or kill him?
Just hinder him. Just stab him straight in his eye.
Okay. Yeah, you do. You hit him straight in the eye. He just screams as his eye is just shattered and popped. There's a sickening, like, noise. And he's
As I pull my knife from his head,
huh?
His eye is still attached to it, and I say to him, "This now belongs to me."
Yeah, so he's just screaming and in pain. Okay, Cloud Snake, you're next.
Okay, when he gets his eyes popped out, in a moment of inspiration, I just stretch out my arms and stand tall. I bow down my head, close my eyes, and you start to see the sun discs on my chest spinning. And they slowly spin faster and faster, gaining speed, until the sun disc goes black. And once the sun disc goes black, an area of magical darkness is centered, encapsulating these other Jaguar warriors. So basically, I cast darkness.
Cool. All right. So they are like enshrouded in this magical darkness. They can't see a thing.
I can see them though.
I think you're probably the only one though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there's some calls of like, what the fuck? What's happening? Okay. Mesley, you're next.
Alright, I'll try to cast, spread out another one of the Quaddle's feathers, and I'll toss another Flame Strike into the fray of the darkness. See if I can remember where they are. So, disadvantage?
Sure.
Right. Let's see. That's 6. Okay. So that's 12.
That's gonna hit.
Oh, okay.
Gonna hit one of them.
Hit one of them? Alright.
That's 2. You mean fireball, right? Not flame strike.
Yeah, Firebolt.
Okay.
It's 2d8, right?
2d10.
2d10. Dang. It just seems really good.
Yeah, it's ridiculous for a cantrip, yeah.
Man, I love 5th edition. Let's do... Oh, 5 damage.
Okay. Yeah, so you just like hurl a bolt of fire into the darkness, and you just hear like a "oh" from the inside.
Use the
Ow.
use the action to pull up my shield from my side that I've gathered.
Sure. Okay.
And pull
Alright,
up
Sharp.
close to Zolan.
Oh, is it my turn?
No, Sharp Rain is next.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, sorry. I draw my club and my shield, and I scream, "Come out of there! You have to join the other sacrifices." and I wait for them to come out.
Okay. Zolan, you're next.
All right. So are all of these other warriors inside that magical darkness?
One of them has fallen to the ground and has no eye, so he's rolling around on the ground in pain.
And how many of there were there in total?
There were 5.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so Zolan is gonna pour some water in his hands and rub them together and then clap them in front of him like he has before, sending a shockwave of sonic force. He's gonna just try to center it from where he remembered them in the darkness, and he's gonna cast Shatter. So
Okay.
they get a Constitution save.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm gonna up it. I'm gonna up this to a 3rd level, and I'm gonna use my Channel Divinity to have it deal maximum damage.
Awesome.
So that's 4d8. So I think that's 32 damage.
Shit. Okay, so 2 of them make the save, so they take half, which is 16. The other 2 take 32. There's just enormous, just thunderous smash, and you see that all of them are just thrown for a second up into the air. You see them like fly out of the darkness just in bits, and then land back in it again. Go ahead.
All right, and he's gonna step over to the one who doesn't have an eye, and he's gonna hold out his hand, and he's gonna summon forth his spiritual weapon as his bonus action, but he's gonna stop it right before it hits the guy in the other eye. So a lightning spear is just gonna appear right in front of him, and he's going to say, "These are ours. Are you sure you want to continue?"
Yeah, he's just holding his eye and just like roaring in pain. And I'm saying he's probably going to wet himself right now in the situation that he's in. They thought this would be like an easy, like, okay, you guys are new to this. Give me the sacrifices, and nobody gets hurt. And you just kick the shit out of them. So, all right, it's their go. You see that they run out of the dark cloud, but one of them runs entirely the wrong direction. So you see him run out the wrong side and kind of charge, like, ah, and there's nobody there. The other 3 managed to walk out the right direction. 2 of them are like really badly injured. You can see one of them is coughing up blood already. The leader seems to be doing all right. He walks forward and he's going to try and attack. Excuse me, Sharp Rain. But you get to attack him first because you were waiting for it. So Sharp Rain, you can roll an attack.
Okay, natural 20.
Wow, nice.
9 damage.
You roll double for a critical.
Oh,
Double the dice.
cool. So that's 15.
Nice. Okay. You smack this guy pretty hard. He goes flying, hits the ground. He tries to attack you from the ground. Just swings his bladed club from the ground at your shins. See if he can hit. He's rolling with disadvantage. Wow, 15 and 16. He's going to hit you. Okay, for 8 points. So he swings at your shins with his club. Just smack. Just roll me a, let's say, dexterity check.
Okay, that's 11.
Okay, so you actually trip over. He hits you so hard in the leg that you like fall onto your ass. The other 2 rush forward. One of them rushes towards Zolan, who's hovering over their friend, and is going to try and hit him with a Macahuito. I see for Zolan is 16. Okay, he's going to hit you.
All right.
It's going to be 9 points of damage as he swings his club into you. The other one is going to rush forward and try and hit Sharp Rain as well because he's right in front. Oh, and that's another hit. This time doing 11 damage.
All right, so as he hits Zolan, Zolan's going to turn to him and hiss, and he's going to say, "Ah, lightning, take you, fool!" And he's going to use his reaction to, he has an ability to use a reaction to call a bolt of lightning.
Rebuke, right?
Yeah, 2d8 of lightning damage to him.
Nice.
which is 13 points of damage. I actually don't know if he gets a save on that or not.
I think he probably makes a con save, but I'm not sure.
Probably, that sounds right. I'm looking it up, sorry, I'm not prepared.
No problem. I should really know that.
It's a deck save.
It's a deck save? Okay.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Brian.
You're
Okay, he
welcome.
critically fails it. So I'm going to say you do maximum damage, which is going to be 16.
Excellent. Yeah, as a lightning bolt strikes from the heavens.
Yeah. So he hits you and you just go, no! And summon lightning and it cracks him really heavily. Okay, so... that was the bad guys. Okay, back up to Tark.
Awesome. So there's one towards us, and then there's one that's run out the wrong side, correct?
Yes, one of them was run the wrong direction. Two of them, actually 3 of them ran out in the direction where you are.
Okay.
One of them is in front of the guy you stabbed in the eye. He's
Yep.
currently attacked Zolan. And then there's 2 in front of Sharprain.
Right, I'm going to try and get the guy from Zolan.
Mhm.
The again, with the other guy, I'd like to try and push him to the ground.
Mhm.
And then, so, is that a strength check for that?
Yeah.
Ah, natural 1 on that.
Okay, after 1.
Yeah.
So you try to push him, and I think you probably overbalance, and he steps out of the way, and you're going to trip and fall.
Awesome. Can I, whilst on the ground, can I try and... I
Yeah,
don't-
you can attack on the ground.
Can I attack him on the ground? Cool.
You just need to do a disadvantage.
Alright. 14 to hit.
14 to hit is not going to hit, I'm afraid.
Do I get my second attack?
Yep.
That one's 10.
Okay, that's also going to miss. So you you fall over and you just flail wildly with your blade, but he just dodges out of the way. This guy seems to be very quick. Okay, after Tark, it's Cloud Snake.
Okay, with all the guys running out of the darkness, you start to see the darkness slowly dissipate and start to swirl around and around, and it starts to form a large life-winged coatl. And the coatl flies up in the air and descends back towards me. With its wings outstretched, it's going to contact 2 of the Jaguar warriors, and the coatl is going to disappear. And 2 of my Jaguars are going to pop out of their chest and run towards mine and bring light back to the sun disk tattoo I have. And I'm Eldritch Blasting I'm Eldritch Blasting 2 of them, 1 blast apiece.
Okay.
So the first one, 17.
Yep.
And then the second one, 18.
Yep, both hits. You just need a 15.
Okay. So one takes 5 points of damage,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second one takes 10 points of damage.
Okay, nice. Okay, excellent. Mestley. Chepe?
Sorry.
No problem.
He was staring into the darkness. He was flashbacking to the darkness of the cave that he had to fight the Coatl. When staring in the face of the danger of the one he was supposed to protect, he failed. An infuriate and mostly self-loathing of himself, because yet again he failed the gods. He lunges forward and attacks the person right in front of him, who is going after, Zolan, who he's supposed to protect. So that's 2 attacks. And the first one is 13.
And miss.
And the second one is 15.
That hits.
Sweet. That would be 2d6. That's not a D6. That's 8 damage.
Nice. That actually drops him.
Okay. Fury, he finally does, and he lops off his head with a Naquaddle in one clean blow, thrashing at his shield.
Yeah, so this guy just falls dead to the ground. Sharp Rain. So there's 2 of them in front of you.
Okay, am I prone? I
Yes,
got knocked
yeah.
down last
You
time.
can use half your movement to stand up.
Okay, can I still attack?
Yep.
Okay, so I would try to jump into my feet and smack them across the head again. Yeah, that's 22.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, that's 7.
Okay.
Okay, so I jump into my feet and smack them in the face, and I say, "You are gonna be sacrificed to Quetzalcoatl." That's it.
Okay. All right. Then Zolan.
Okay, so how many are still up?
There are 3. One of them ran the wrong direction, so he's quite far away. But there's 2 of them in front of Sharp Rain.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So Zolan is gonna look down at the wound on his hand, or on his arm, and he's going to uncork one of his gourds, and water is going to start flowing up into the sky from the gourd, and blood from his wound is going to start flowing up too, and it's going to cause they're going to coalesce into a dark cloud above them, and he's going to call down lightning on these fools. So I can do a lightning blast.
They make
that
a
will
dex save,
affect
I think.
creatures within 5 feet of a point that it hits.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to do it right behind their line and hit 2 of them. I don't know if that's possible.
Yep, absolutely possible, yeah.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, they get a dexterity save. Right? Yeah.
Jesus, yeah, they both fail.
All right, so it's going to do, I think it's 3d10, is that right?
It is, yeah, shockingly high damage.
All right, so that is 17 points of damage.
Ooh.
And he, if they're still up, he's gonna turn, and he's gonna direct the lightning spear, but he's gonna aim for one of their legs, and he's going to try to hammer that one home. Try not to kill them. That's a 10 plus 7. That's a 17 to hit.
Yep.
And that is 6 plus 4, 10 points of damage.
Wow, okay. Yeah, so you blast this guy's leg, and you see it kind of seize up as if he's been like badly electrocuted, and he just kind of for a second and then falls flat on the ground. Not dead, but definitely like incapacitated.
Your hearts will feed the gods. Take them alive.
So the bad guys get to go. The one remaining guy, well, the guy who ran out of the darkness, he can't see. Is it still there, Nelson?
Sorry, I was on mute.
That's okay.
I remember I dispelled the darkness. It turned into a quaddle,
okay.
and then I just role-played it that the darkness became my Eldritch Blast.
Sure. Perfect. Okay. So he turns back to see what's happening, and he sees the fact that his companions are almost entirely dead. And he kind of just thinks for a second, and he thinks, where am I going to go if I don't go home? And he thinks better of it, just runs away into the jungle. The one remaining guy standing there, he's made of sterner stuff, and he's going to try and swing for Sharp Rain, who's right in front of him. He misses both attacks, one of them critically. So he swings his club the first time. He misses, you dodge out of the way. He goes to swing it a second time. He lets go of it. He goes flying away from him, and he's standing there with no weapons. And just looking around at what's just happened, he just falls to his knees and puts his hands on his head. So he's surrendering. So, unless you want to chase the other guy, that's the end of that fight.
I'm chasing the other guy.
Okay.
I don't know if it's possible. I'll try to blast him with a blast of lightning if he doesn't run out of range.
Yeah, it's like 60 feet your range, right?
I think so. Yeah, within 60 feet of the. Yeah, so he might get far enough away.
Yeah. I got 120-foot range on my Eldritch Blast, and I have a 40-foot move.
Perfect. Okay, so that's ridiculous. You guys can both excuse me. You can both attack. So I'll roll his dex save.
All right.
Yeah, so that's a 3. So he's not going to make that save.
I don't know why the second roll isn't coming up for me. Why not? You guys see it? No, I'll do it again. 6, 10, and...
Or 3, is it?
Oh, no, that was a 1 in the middle that came. So 6, 1, and 10, so 17.
Okay. Yeah, so he's running and he just shocked by lightning, and he falls to one knee for a second. Cloud Snake, you can try and hit him with a blast.
Okay, so as he falls to one knee, what he sees is a large jaguar made from pure dark energy jump out from the bushes in front of him. Nah, that's us. Wait, no, 4 and 6, 10.
Yeah, 10's gonna miss.
Alright, and then the second one is 12.
That's also gonna miss.
Ah, crap.
Could I grant you my inspiration?
Okay, yeah, so you can roll with advantage.
Oh, that's right. I forgot I had inspiration. I never get inspiration. So let me use my own inspiration. You'll keep yours. I don't want to take yours. Okay, see, now that's better. 22.
Yep, that's gonna hit.
Where's my thing? Okay. 7 points of damage.
Okay, so your jaguar leaps on him and bites into his leg, and he can't get back up again. He's just lying there, or kneeling there rather, and he's like looking back in horror at what's about to happen. So he's stuck.
And then the last thing he sees is that the jaguar that bit his leg jumps back in the forest that's in front of him. And then I if I'm close enough, I want to put the image of the death god jaguar to make him feel like that's what's waiting for him next if he keeps going forward.
Yeah, he stops. He's kneeling and he drops his club. He turns around to look at you guys. Okay, well done.
My turn.
Yeah. No. Once we catch up with him, I want to tie him up, bind him, and once he's bound, I'm removing his tongue.
Okay.
Damn.
And then I bring him back towards. I use my jaguar to hold the rope with my mage hand to lead him behind me as we walk back towards everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay, so you guys get all the other jaguar warriors basically who tried to betray you. You get them, you tie them up, and you've got a bounty now of offerings. You make it back to the town.
As we do that, I'm gonna make sure to remove their jaguar hoods because I don't want them to have the anyone to be confused at all. I want them to know that we took them fair and square on the field of battle. And as we're tying everybody up, Zolan's gonna turn to everybody and he's gonna say, "When my next son is born, and I take the shield from his left hand, the atlatl dart from his right, and his umbilical cord, I will give it to a great warrior to bury them on the field of a great battle. This will be that field. But it will be difficult for me to choose which among you have that honor."
Awesome. So you guys do get back to the city. There's huge cheers as you walk back with all these offerings. You see people in the street like come up and like pat you on the shoulder, like, "Yeah, well done, all right, yeah, woo." So any male slaves that you have or offerings that are still in good shape, they're brought to an arena. The female slaves and the children are brought to a separate place. You're greeted by Ehekatl, who was the commander at the start, and he's actually got a big grin on his face, which is really hard to look at because he's got this skull tattoo all over his face. He's a very frightening man. He's got all these like bone piercings all over his face and stuff, and he kind of is like grinning and chuckling, like, "You have done well. And I see you've got some of our warriors here. What happened there?"
I'd like to say to him, that's it. Today they chose to become the holiest people of our time. They wish to be sacrificed, for they betrayed us.
Well, you have clearly been chosen by the gods to be the victors in this battle. You've done very well. So, the female slaves and the children are brought to one area, and the male slaves, including the guys from the last, the other Jaguar party, are brought to an arena, and they're painted all over with these kind of patterns and stuff, and they're given clubs, and they're put into the middle of the arena. And then he says to you, "You may have the honor to kill these sacrifices, and then you will bring the hearts to the priest." So you're basically, one of the huge pyramids, these stepped ziggurats, is kind of behind the arena, and you're going to go down into this pit, fight these guys who are horribly injured and barely armed, who have been painted as sacrifices. You're going to kill them and bring the hearts to the priest, ideally.
Yeah, I definitely want to go in there.
In a heartbeat.
So you guys go down. These guys have been not only painted, but they've been made to, let me see what it's called, made to drink a really strong alcohol. I can't remember the name of it, but it's really strong sort of alcohol, and so they're trashed as well as exhausted, as well as injured, and they've been painted with this really like thick paint, so they're like sweating really profusely, and they've got this one shitty little club in their hands, and they've been kind of thrown into the arena and tied together, and you guys have been fed. You have your glorious Jaguar armor on, all your incredible weapons, and you are walking into this arena with the crowd just roaring cheers.
Yeah. By the way, the drink is called pulque.
Yes, exactly.
Divine pulque.
Mm-hmm.
But when I enter the arena, I don't want to enter with any weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Just the Jaguar hood, and I want to sort of walk to where I'm at the center of all these painted figures,
mm-hmm.
and I'm going to cross my arms over my chest, and then I'm going to look down and just wait a minute breathing, and then rapidly throw my arms out and press my chest up, and the sun disk on my chest from there springs forth massive amounts of dark energy, and what you see is a silhouette of a like an anthropomorphic jaguar, a jaguar man, and he has several arms, and he reaches out towards all the sacrifices, and I'm casting Arms of Hadar
Mm-hmm.
at a level 2 slot.
Okay.
So they all have to roll.
Saves, right?
Yeah, they all have to roll. I forget what saves. Hold on, let me read this thing real quick. Sorry.
No problem.
They have to roll a strength saving throw, and the difficulty is 14.
Okay, so the slaves all fail. Let's see what the warriors do. Okay, the slaves do make it. Oh, sorry. The sacrifices fail. The warriors do make their save.
Okay, and the ones who fail their save take 14 points of damage.
Ouch.
And the ones who make their save take half of that.
Okay. And they're thrown back as well, aren't they?
No, they're not thrown back. But for the ones, does anybody die from that attack or no?
Actually, let me check. See what their health is like. Yes, 3 of the slaves will die from that attack.
Okay, from the 3 slaves that die from the attack, as the Jaguar man reaches out with its arms. 3 of its arms return with their still beating hearts, and their bodies start to rot away with necrotic damage from where the cavity of their hearts were. And then I walk away with those hearts and bring them up to the priests and the ziggurat.
Awesome. So the rest of you?
Which ones look the weakest?
There are 2 remaining, what do you call them? Offerings.
Okay,
And also one of the warriors has no eye, and he is just incredibly rough looking.
that's the one I'm going for. The roar or the cheers deafen, like stereo around me. My vision is blurred to the complete surroundings. I focus in. The light comes down upon my mask with the coatl on my face. The god that I accidentally killed needs blood to be fed itself. And so I'm feeding my own costume. Dragging slowly my maquaddle, I lumber it over to the weakest one with a blank stare and darkness looming over my eyes. Come down on it. Roll for... That would be 18.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. That would be 12 damage.
Yeah, that'll take him out.
Slot him in one. The maquaddle comes down. You see a diagonal swing come down, and as you hear the noise, you see one diagonal splink of blood, as if reflecting in the sky, come out, shooting across the back of my shoulder and landing on the feathers on my costume.
Awesome. All
And
right.
I have another attack, and I go for the next weakest one next to him. There's 2 offerings left, right?
Yep.
Yep. Oh, that one actually...
You've got an advantage on these as well. because
Okay.
they're
I could also
trash.
spend my... Yeah. I could have spent inspiration too, so that's fine. 19,
Mhm.
and that is 10 damage.
Another dead one.
Another one, and then another spatter of blood covers the side as if a crimson wing formed on my right arm. I reach into the cavities, cutting an incision with the coatl bone that I had from my childhood, reaching in, grabbing the hearts, and then bringing them also to the high priest.
Perfect. Okay. Who's next?
So the main jaguar guy, he's still standing, and then one of the slaves.
Yeah.
Right. The jaguar warrior, I'm gonna run straight towards him with my obsidian dagger. I'm gonna point it straight at his throat, and then I slowly just pull it down his chest and just opens his chest cavity. And then I keep furiously stabbing him in the stomach over and over and over again until he just falls to the ground.
He does, yeah. He's totally unable to defend himself. He just kind of stands there, kind of shaking and stuff, not able to really see what's going on, and he screams out in pain as you do that.
As he does that, I roll him onto his back, and then I put my hand into his chest, pull out his heart, and hold it into the air for the crowd to see, to bear witness.
Yeah, they roar in approval.
And then I motion to the other slave for shot range.
Hmm.
I step forward. Okay, I step forward with my maquaddle, and I say, "Your time has come." And I hope it was my friend Tech. I run towards him and try to sever his head with a strike.
Hmm.
Okay, I rolled a 17.
Yep.
And
Yeah, he's dead.
yep. Okay. So his head jumps up and starts spinning as it lands on the floor, and he leaves a trail of blood for about 2 meters. And you can see his eyes still moving. And I also harvest his heart
Okay.
with my dagger.
We'll say there's one more for Zolan.
Okay, well, I mean, Zolan would have been happy. Zolan, watching his young warrior companions going and taking their blood right, he feels the age of many campaigns that he's been on. And he's happy to see that the young are getting what they deserved. But looking over and seeing that there is one left, he's going to pull some water from one of his gourds, and he's going to summon forth his lightning spear. And in his other hand, he's going to charge forward with an obsidian dagger, because I don't know. He feels like, these people, they at least deserve a chance to hit him back if he's gonna fight. So yeah, he's gonna run forward and slash with an obsidian dagger. Actually, that looks pretty good. That looks like it's gonna be 21 to hit.
Yep, that's definitely gonna hit.
And so that's gonna be 6 points of damage.
I'll take him out.
All right, excellent. Actually, yeah, I mean, I guess he already summoned the thing, so he'll let the spear dissipate, and he'll take the guy down to the ground, and with both hands he'll rear back and slam his obsidian dagger down into the guy's chest. He's done this many times, cut people's hearts out. So he just makes quick work of it, breaking the rib cage, cracking it open, and pulling it out nonchalantly. And he walks off towards the temple with a slight limp.
So you guys get to the top of the steps. It's incredibly difficult to climb to the top of this temple. There are hundreds of steps, and they're very, very small and tight. There's actually a rope that goes from the middle of the top down to the bottom, so you can pull your way up. You get to the top of these hearts, and the priest is there. He's got this enormous headdress, and he's got another skull face, and he's got these really long nails on his hands, and you can see that his pretty much from his hands all the way up to like his shoulders is just covered in blood. It's like a permanent dye almost. He's done this so often that his arms are just bloody, and he takes the hearts from you. He throws them into a brazier, and he begins to chant and scream, and everybody in the city who's watching starts to scream along with him. And you've saved the world. The sun will hopefully rise tomorrow. So, well done. There you go.
In the midst of the screaming, he holds the trinket given to him by Sharp Rain. And he looks at it, and he thinks the word and whispers under his breath, "Children." You see the blackness go over his eyes as blood, still spewing down from the cigarette, just trickles a bit on him, and he doesn't even notice because he's too busy staring at the trinket.
Awesome. There you go, guys. Thanks very much.
Thank you. That was really
It was an amazing game.
Thank you. I'll just plug channels before we go. Chepe is FaunTrodden. Check out his channel.
Don't. It's niche.
Cloud Snake is Infinite Roleplay. Check out that channel. And I don't think anybody else has a channel, right?
No.
You can check out my band's channel. It's Planetoid Music.
Do that.
On YouTube.
Alright, guys. I'm Jarl DM. This was a historical one-shot. Thanks for watching.